How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 36, headed into year number 9, the 2029-30 regular season, and what may be our final full regular season before we do the wrap-up and start our next series, either this season or year number 10. But we're definitely getting towards the end of this series through 36 episodes now. In the last one, we didn't have a super eventful off-season. We were hoping that it would be an off-season of growth, but we see that many of our players are stagnating. The forwards have been alright. Popov, Moss, yes, they've kind of gotten stuck at 85, 84, but at least they have grown. Same for Maloney. He's been 81, 83, now he's 84. Okay, we can deal with that. But the defense has been horrendous. David Jiricek, the guy we drafted 4th overall back in 2022, he has played in 400 NHL games. He averages, last season especially, to over 23 minutes a night, over 21 in his career, and he has still been, through his entire time in the NHL, between an 81 and an 83, and right now he's an 82. So I don't get it. If he's not going to grow with all these X factors and his ice time and the performances that he's had, what's going to make him grow? Same for Alex Kozlov. We drafted him as an 80 overall. He's played 318 games in the NHL. He's still an 80 overall. Again, he played over 19 and a half minutes a night last season. No growth. Tiny Morrison, medium elite potential. He's played 2 full seasons of over 14 and a half minutes a night, trying to squeeze as much ice time as possible for him. No growth. Still a 79 through and through. So it's been very frustrating to see that. Meanwhile, Kobasu has grown. He's going to make his NHL debut this season. He's an 81 overall. There's other guys in our system, Suglobov, Lundberg, other guys who could be here. So it's frustrating to have Morrison and Jiricek taking spots in the lineup, and they're not doing anything for us. So that was what was frustrating this last episode, and our biggest question heading into this one was, do we think about revamping the defense a little bit? Because, yes, we get a lot of scoring from our first line, our top 6, but we need to get a little bit of scoring from the defense as well. We can't have all 6 of our D-men not getting more than maybe 20 points each. Our leading scorer of defense can't have a 28-point season. So Jacob Chychrun has really picked up the slack in that regard. He's been the guy the last few years, in 20s, 30s with Arizona, now into the 40s, almost 50 last season with us. So he's going to continue what he's doing. But Ethan Bear's 32 now. Jiricek never showed anything. The other guys haven't shown anything. We got to think about possibly bolstering the blue line a little bit with, on top of all of our questions heading into the preseason of some of the younger players, like, don't forget Caleb Rolson, also on defense. My goodness, 6'5", 80 overall, low elite, X factors. He also wants to make the team. So one of those guys are probably not going to impress in the preseason, and they'll be a 7th defenseman. Other guys in the forward core want to try and make the jump to the NHL. Maybe Rayala. Everyone else not quite there, but they're coming. Burrows, Piper, they're coming down the road. So all that to say, it's going to be an eventful preseason. The scouts have already been sent out, and I'm looking forward to what we can do. However, the only thing that I think I'm ready to pull the trigger on before we get to the preseason may be that defensive upgrade. And initially, I wasn't thinking that we would be ready to do it. So let me just go to the player search, and I'll show you some of the players that we were talking about last episode. We were just looking at who are the top defensemen in the NHL according to overall. So if we go any defenseman with a minimum overall of, say, 85, and let's say, we have the money, but we don't have crazy money. We don't have 14 million or anything like that. So let's say max contract would be 10 million. If we send out those parameters, we get 26 results. If we sort by overall and we go by some realism, we think, okay, this was my thought process. On the Ottawa Senators, you have 3 elite defensemen. You have Sanderson, you have Brandstrom, and you have Shabbat somewhere down here. I think he's making too much money, but he's on there as well. So they have 3 elite defensemen. Maybe I can go and get the guy who's on an expiring deal because they don't have the money to re-sign him. So I always, I don't go through with a lot of trades, but I do a little experimentation off camera. I could send them 2 top players and 3 first-round picks, and they will not trade Jake Sanderson. So stuff like that is not possible. So we have to go down the list a little bit. Travis Dermott, 88 overall. He's not going to keep that up. I really doubt it. He had a really bloated season, 30 points a year. Then explodes for 60 out of nowhere. I don't think that's going to be sustainable. Sergachev's the guy on Tampa Bay. And then you start going down other guys. Okay, Werenski's signed long-term. Drysdale maybe, but he doesn't fit our lines. We had looked at the Pro Scout analysis. He said maybe fits the penalty kill. I need guys. We have so many defensemen that are not fitting in the scheme well, where we have no chemistry boosts. I want to get someone who can at least be 1 check mark and not dash dash or dash X on the line chemistry. So I went through a lot of names, and the one name that really stood out, as well as being on the trade block, was Bowen Byram. Bowen Byram on the Devils, he's on their block. He fits deep pairing 1, maybe. So at least at 3 bars out of 4, that gives me some hope. 1 year left at just shy of $8 million. We could sign him to an extension after this year. 4-star shooting, 5-star puck skills, 3.5-star defense, which is a bit odd, but he's a big guy, 4.5 stars physical. I think his plus minus has been solid enough. Yeah, like -16 last year in Colorado, got traded to St. Louis. Here's what I'm thinking. This is screaming Jacob Chychrun to me. Chychrun on the Coyotes put up numbers like this, 20 points, 30 points, maybe if he's lucky. When he came to Seattle, he's scoring consistently in the 40 points. When he got traded to St. Louis last year, he scored 12 points in 18 games, was a plus 10. Put Bowen Byram on the right team, I think he could flourish. So I was thinking about Bowen Byram on top of many other names. That guy Marchment on the Coyotes was good, but he gets like 200 penalty minutes a season. I wasn't really interested in that. Couple that with, the Devils have Byram on the block and their buyer status, so they want to get rid of him. I'll give you good players in return. What would you think about that? That is my current thinking heading into the comments section. So starting with Ed, who gives late congratulations on ending university. Thank you very much, Ed. As Tuck goes down in overall, we can always try him on the third line, and then Beniers on the first line, Maloney on the second line. I like that. We'll think about that as Tuck continues to age. Give Lume a chance in the preseason. Don't trade him too quickly. Maybe trade Kozlov, play Rolison on the third pair. Not sure. Kozlov has a great contract. If we want to improve the defense, I would take a look at Marchant, whatever you want to call him, on the Coyotes. Drysdale on the Ducks, or Hughes also here on the New Jersey Devils. They have good age and their salaries are not too high for their overall. Dermott also a good option for 1 or 2 seasons, but again, I don't think his overall is sustainable, so I think his trade value is very bloated right now. Sanderson has low salary for 1 year, that's great, but again, it's the trade value. Morrison and Kozlov still have good trade value, so maybe we can use them in that regard. Vinny also liked that defenseman over on the Coyotes because he looked pretty good in the defensive categories. If Juracek does not grow over the offseason, which he didn't, even though he only has 1 year left on his contract, his trade value, overall, and low salary make up for that. Yes, absolutely. Plus, you can always re-sign him so long as he does not ask for an exorbitant amount. So a lot of people are interested in this guy. I definitely see the appeal because he's 86 overall, has low trade value, and has solid defensive attributes. But I'll show you this just so no one thinks I'm just taking stuff out of midair. He's 25, 86, fantastic. But for some reason, he has 92 discipline and 75 fighting skill. The guy had 37 fights in the NHL and consistently gets a ton of penalty minutes. He has 516 in his career of 246 games, 130, 188, 198. That's too much of a liability for us. For a guy who I'd be acquiring to be a top 2-3 guy on our team, I cannot afford him taking so many penalties. I don't know how he fights so much with the fighting skill and the discipline stat there, but for some reason the EA system has him fighting. And so, like I said, with Byram being on the block, that's what tempts me the most. Because a good player of similar value, like Luke Hughes, for example, would be almost impossible to get because he's not on the block and has elite potential instead of top 4 potential. Byram being on the block really gives him the edge. Last thoughts here coming from Gen Z McKenzie, who says, I don't think you should put too much stock in the face-offs. We're talking about Pasi Lume, how he might not be able to be a third-line center for us with 64 face-offs, because I don't think face-off ability affects anything in the simulation. So I think Lume should be kept on the third line as a center. I also think Bergenheim should be moved up to third line so he has more opportunity to grow. Morrison should be replaced by Rolison due to overall and age. It's hard to really know if face-offs do matter in the simulation. They matter in game when situations like that come up. But Lume was 30 for 79 on the draw in his first season and 19 for 55 on the draw in his second season. Career total of 36.57% at the dot. Not super impressive, but again, it's hard to tell. I don't know how much does it really matter. Hard to really say for certain, but again, we'll let the preseason do a lot of the talking there. I'm more finished with the defense and ready to make a move right now, September 13th. He's on the block. It may not last. I don't think I want to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks to get this done. So all that being said, if we were to try and acquire Bowen Byram as another type of project for us, similar to how Jacob Chychrun was, and we go to defense, if I say, okay, you're a buyer, you want to sell on Bowen Byram, well, how about I send you David Juracek? He's a medium elite guy, still has his potential. He still performs very well. It's just he's not growing or putting up the points for it, not doing really what we want him to be doing with those X factors. It's frustrating. And on the one hand, say, okay, well, if he's still performing, then overall is just a number. But at the same time, on the other hand, I want to get more offensive ability on our team from the blue line. Solid both offensively and defensively would be best for us, because sometimes when our scoring is lacking, the guy who scores 18 points in 82 games, he's not going to be coming through for us all the time, whereas a clutch defensive jump into the rush of things would really be the game changer, I suppose. So if I throw in David Jiricek, and you also want Riker Evans, a player who we've tried to make room for, but again, it's just too much of a logjam. He has played 73 games for us, had 10 points, and was a plus 17. He's very good as a third pair. He's been solid in the AHL, and he could be a good NHL defenseman. We just do not have the room for him. 1 year left on his deal. Other teams want him. It's better if we just cut bait now, give him a chance to thrive in a possible future career. So they're both in there, Jiricek and Evans. The trade value is already quite even. If I send that straight up, they're going to reject it. So here's what I was thinking. I could throw in a prospect to make this happen, some sort of guy who's signed in the AHL, or I could throw in the unsigned, if I sort by trade value, an unsigned guy here, Beach. He's 20 years of age, only 66 overall. Tommy Beach has not grown. He's a third-round pick in 2028. We pretty much, when we drafted him last year, we knew he'd probably be trade bait in the end. No attribute that really stands out aside from 80 defensive awareness. So I wouldn't mind trading him now while he still has value, but that puts our value over the top. So that means we could take something back. Our prospect pool is pretty full. I don't know if I want to fill it up more. We could take a random winger, but I feel like that just makes more problems down the road. I wouldn't mind just getting a high pick and trying to do something with that. So could I get New Jersey's first? They say they're buyers. They get a good prospect for the future, supposedly. They get a depth defenseman, and they get a new top 2, top 4 guy in David Jiricek, who's done it before. So Jiricek, Evans, and Beach for Byram and a first-round pick. That makes them, say, quite far off in value, but I don't think it really is, especially with Byram being a guy that they want to trade. Could I toss in one of our 2 fourth-round picks to make this happen? Bowen Byram to Seattle for Jiricek, Evans, and Beach. What do you say to this, New Jersey? Quite far off in value still, so maybe a bit more. I really don't think it'll take much. Sometimes those messages are just, I'm not buying this one. We're basically swapping a third and a fourth to move up to a first, moving a prospect we won't use, a defenseman we won't use, and a defenseman we want gone for a guy who's going to be on our blue line for years to come. New Jersey, trade accepted. I am happy to accept this proposal on behalf of the New Jersey Devils, and we consider it a done deal. Thank you, New Jersey. David Jiricek, one of the longest serving members on the team, drafted in our first year, didn't play since our first year, but one of the longest members over the organization. Off to the Eastern Conference. We wish you all the best, really, for real. I'm sorry that things didn't really work out, but Bowen Byram, welcome to Seattle, Bello. Let's slot you in this lineup, and let's get ready for the preseason. I really hope he fits. So if we put him on the second pair there with Kobasu, let's see what we got here. Two-way D and Bowen Byram, -1, but okay, he has the dash and the check mark, and he fits the second pair quite well. So that means if we swap things around, could we do this? We could. So we could go Chikrin Kobasu with the +2, Byram Bear with no chemistry boost on the second, and Kozlov Morrison on the third. That could be a move here, because Braden Kobasu, he has the X factors. He's an offensive defenseman, making his NHL debut, scored 54 points in 82 games last season in the AHL, but we're going to let the preseason do the talking there. We'll see what best lines in the AHL as well. We'll see who impresses, and that will decide what the actual line combinations will be. But we pick up Bowen Byram from the New Jersey Devils in a big package deal. We swap up a third and a fourth for a first as well. A good hockey trade for us. They're buyers. They had Byram on the block. They wanted to do it. Didn't scam the system. Hey, good luck to you, New Jersey. Let's simulate up to the first preseason game against the Vancouver Canucks. A second and a fourth for a third and 2 randos. No, thank you. No, thank you. Here come all these trade offers. No, thank you. 2 of our goalie prospects. Malhi and Eriksson for Rasmus Sandin. That's actually not too bad, but defense is not what we need right now. after we just picked somebody up. And here we are ready to kick off the preseason. So as I usually do in the preseason, I'm going to show you the lines, show you the box scores, and we'll try to get through it rather quickly. So game 1 of the preseason will have the lines look like this. So here we go. The potential top 6 of the future if Tuch were to regress. Beniers, McKinnon, Marco on the first, Maloney, Popov, Moss on the second, Bergenheim, Lume, Comfer on the third. Try and get him in some center moments for passing Lume. Fourth line, Manning, Tikhonov, and Rayala. Defense, and go Chychrun and Kobasu, the potential first pairing. Byram with Suglobov, a guy we signed in free agency, who ended up growing to 80 overall, has medium league potential. Maybe he pushes for the NHL, who knows? And Kozlov, Morrison, our potential third pair. Goaltending will go Malik, backed up by Marcus Hilpert, a 7th round pick in 2025. He's a 78 overall now, listed as a backup. So if he plays well, he'll be the guy coming up to the NHL if we ever have injuries, as opposed to us going out and getting somebody else. If he proves to be a bit shaky in the preseason, maybe we look elsewhere, like I said. But let's roll with the lines like this against Vancouver. Game number 1 of the preseason ends up being a 5-4 shootout loss against the Canucks. It was a tight one. We fought back pretty well. 2-point night from Chychrun, who played 31 minutes and 23 seconds. Goal and an assist from him. Assist from Manning. Assist from Byram. A goal from Rayala. Assist from Lume, Comfer. So the bottom 6 came through pretty well. The bigger guys down here, just Moss pretty much. No points from Moss. Couple shots on net. Played well. And goaltending, Malik made 26 saves on 30 shots, 867 save percentage. Not amazing, but not too horrible for 65 minutes there with overtime. Game number 2 of the preseason, let's look like this. I'm going to keep the forwards exactly the same for a tough matchup against Edmonton, but defensively, Byram will come out and Caleb Rolison will come in. A lot of size in these second and third pairs here with Rolison 6'5", Morrison 6'4", Kozlov 6'5", Suglobov 6'2". Goaltending will give Malik another start, and we'll see how that goes against the Oilers. Back-to-back 5-4 shootout losses there as we dropped that one to Edmonton. 2 assist night from Popov, goal and assist from Maloney and from Moss. Manning had a goal in almost 11 minutes of ice time. Marco a goal, Tikhonov, Beniers, and McKinnon with some other assists there, but no points from the rest of these guys. I like that Kobasu plays so much and he's steady out there. Over a half hour last game, close to 26.5 this game, and his plus-minus has been even through and through. A lot of ice time for some of these guys, like Rolison, almost 21 minutes there, so good to see that. Goaltending, Malik, 33 saves on 37 shots, another 4-goal against Knight. We'll give Hilpert the next start and make some more changes to the lineup. Alright, so I'm going to try swapping Maloney and Beniers, as Beniers, Popov, Moss is the actual second line of the season if possible, as it gets a +5 as well. Darius Piper going to be making his NHL preseason debut. He was our second round pick in 2025. He's 22 years of age. I hope he continues to grow, because it would be nice if we get him in the lineup. Aside from that, Rayala comes out. Defensively, I'm just going to swap around the same players. I'm curious to see who can maintain these numbers with all of this ice time. Even plus minuses those are all great, but I want to see, is anyone going to falter a little bit and come out of the lineup, or are they all going to continue to impress? Goaltending, Marcus Hilpert gets the start, and we'll run it back. A big 6-4 win against the Vegas Golden Knights, but the problem is that it's good, but all the scoring's coming from the top guys. 4-point night from McKinnon, 3 from Beniers, 3 from Marco, 2 from Popov, 2 from Maloney. Great to see in the top 6. Chychrun with 1 assist and a +3. Rolison 1 assist, -1. Moss with an assist. Nobody else registering any points, despite a lot of ice time, but again, close to 22 minutes for Kobasu. He did well. Suglobov, close to 20 minutes. He was at -2 in that one. So maybe we'll take a look at the plus minuses and start to make a couple changes. No, cuts just yet. But let's start thinking about swapping up the lineup a little bit, getting Ethan Bear in there and so forth. So some bigger changes for this one. Tuch and Tarasenko back in the lineup. They're getting older, getting a little bit of rest. Tarasenko's going on 38 soon. They'll play on the top line with Popov, Maloney, Lume, Moss second line, Bergenheim, Tikhonov, Comfer on the third, Manning, Rayala, Piper on that fourth line. Defensively, we're going Byram, Bear, the future potential second pair. They'll play top pair minutes. Kobasu and Morrison, Rolison, and Lundberg, who we called up from the AHL. He had a strong preseason last year. He had 3 points, was a +2 in 5 games. That got him 9 games in the NHL. He was a +3 before he got injured, and then he was out for like 2 or 3 months. He ended up going back to the AHL. So maybe this is his opportunity to come back to the NHL. Goaltending, will have Wilm as the backup. He'll start next game. But for this upcoming game, Hilpert will get one more start to try and prove himself a little bit, and we'll run like that. A solid 2-1 victory against the Sharks in this one, as we scored twice in the first and then held down throughout the second and the third period. Tikhonov with a goal, which is great. 25 minutes plus of ice time for Ethan Bear with an assist, even plus-minus. Comfer, Rayala, the other goal. Bergenheim, Piper, the other points. Darius Piper, there he is, King Darius. And then down the list there, more zeros for the points, but the plus minus is +1 for Rolison, +1 for Lundberg. They're looking pretty good out there. Everyone responsible in this game. I like that lineup very much. And Marcus Hilpert, too, making 35 saves on 36 shots. Very nice to see him bounce back after a tough game last one out. So we'll send Hilpert back down as we knew that we always would. But now at least we got to see him a little bit. And we'll give Peyton Wilm his first start of the preseason heading into our 5th game. So we'll run it back for the forwards with slight changes in the bottom 6. We're putting Manning, Tikhonov, and Bergenheim as the 3rd line. Comfer, Rayala, Piper as the 4th. Defensively, Byron Bear, Kobasu, Rolison, Kozlov, and Lundberg. And between the pipes, it is Peyton, Hollywood, Wilm, backed up by Nick Malik. Another tough shootout loss as the Ducks beat us 3-2 in the skills competition. Popov and Tarasenko 2 points apiece. Tuck and Moss with the other points. No one else getting on the scoreboard. -1s from Lundberg, Tikhonov, Bergenheim, Manning, and Kozlov. Peyton Hollywood Will made 29 saves on 31 shots. It was just whoever the other goalie was on fire, as we had 39 shots on net. For ice time, I am impressed, though. Ethan Bear and Bowen Byram looking good. I think they'll be very good on that second defensive pair. Lundberg had a lot of ice time. These guys, this was a tough game to really see too much of. You'd have to watch these games, and I'm not sitting through watching the AI smash into the boards for 60 minutes. But just to say, low-scoring affair, good defensively, a couple of, small things. We're 2-0-3. I just want to see a little more scoring, secondary scoring. That would be my dream. We have 2 games left in the preseason, so now is where we got to start deciding how our lineup will actually look. So here's an idea. If we have to decide right now how I think our lineup would be, if it has to change, then we'll change it for Game 7 of the preseason. But heading into Game 6, let's look like this. As per usual, Tuck, McKinnon, Marco, Beniers, Popov, Moss, Maloney, Lume, Tarasenko, and Manning, Tikhonov, Bergenheim. No surprises there, exactly how we thought it would turn out. Lume, 1 assist in 5 games. I need to see a bit more from him, maybe. Manning's been really good. Tikhonov's been good. Rickard Bergenheim, 1 assist in 5 games. He was challenging for 3rd-line center. Hasn't done anything too crazy. But you know what? Maybe we'll try him out right there. Maybe that'll be the ticket. So let's give him a chance to be 3rd-line center. Defensively, Chychrun, Kobasu could be the first pair. Now it has a +2. They had a +1 before. Byron Bear had a 0. Now they have a +1. So EA land. I don't know what's happening. Rolison and Morrison maybe as the 3rd pair. Assist and 0 for Rolison. No points and a 0 for Tiny Morrison. Kozlov, no points, -3, penalty minutes. Hasn't been very impressive, but I think he'll find a way back in the lineup. I'm going to try for Game 6 looking like this. Rayala, someone who's on the fringe here. 2 goals in 4 games. JT Compher's been all right. 2 assists. And, of course, Peyton Hollywood Wilm backed up by Malik. Game 6 of the preseason. Let's see how this lineup performs. 3-2 victory for the Kraken over the Flames. Game-winning goal going to Pasi Lume. Goal scorers in this one being Marco, Tuck, and Lume. 3-point night for Nate the Great and a +3 to boot. No other points for anyone aside from those 4 players. All the bottom 6 didn't look great down here, especially Bergenheim as 3rd-line center. Lume looked good as 4th-line right wing. So maybe being on the wing is what he needs to be as a sniper without great face-offs? Question mark? I don't know. Ice time as well in this one. A lot of ice time for Chychrun, who seemed solid enough. Kobasu, 20.5 minutes. He's seeming solid out there. Not putting up the points as an offensive defenseman, but he looks solid enough. And goaltending, Will made 29 saves on 31 shots. We'll see if we make any changes heading into the last game. All right, so forwards will stay the same heading into our 7th game, but defensively, Kozlov will draw in for Morrison. Kozlov with Rolison gives that pair a 0 for line chemistry, which is better than -3, that's for sure. So maybe that's the move. Morrison trade bait? I don't know. Wilm gets the start once more. He's been very good in this preseason. Let's keep him just getting revved up as much as possible. Rayala versus Comfer. We'll see who gets 13th forward, not sure. But right now, Morrison looking like that 7th defenseman. Let's see this 7th game before we start making any of these hard decisions. The big dogs keep eating with a 3-1 victory there for the Kraken. Of course, it's Marco, Chychrun, Byram, okay, Lume, Tuck, McKinnon, Beniers, Popov. Very nice. Very good point totals here in this preseason. Only negatives from Tarasenko and Maloney. Okay. Goaltending, Will made 26 saves on 27 shots. Look at the ice times out here. Bergenheim, it looks like he got injured. He's only played 1 minute and 58 seconds. We'll see what happened to him after the game if anything pops up. Bear and Byram seems to be doing well. Kobasu, another 20-plus minute night where he is just holding down the fort, so that's okay with me. Big night from Manning, who probably got some more ice time with Bergenheim out. Kozlov, 2 shots on net, no penalty minutes, which is nice at least. And Rolson, 14 minutes, 1 shot on net, 1 hit. Kozlov, nothing there. He had mostly zeros, but okay, all right, let's look at everything all together now. So through 5 games, Nathan MacKinnon had 2 points a night, 10 points in 5 games for him at the age of 34 now. He is not slowing down. Marco had 9, Popov 8 points, 7 assists in 7 games, Benier 6, Maloney 5 and 7, Moss 4 and 7, Tuck, Chikrin both with 4. Tuck was point per game. Lume 3 points in 7 games. Rayala, those 2 goals in 4 games. Manning 2 and 7. Tikhonov 2 and 7. Tarasenko a couple assists in 4 games. Comfort 2 and 5. Byram 2 and 5. Bear 1 and 4. Rolson 1 and 4. Bergenheim, Morrison, Kozlov, Kobasu all there. Not a lot of points from our defensemen. As you can see, defensively, 4 points and 5 for Chikrin, 2 and 5 for Byram, 1 and 4 for Bear, 1 and 6 for Rolson, and then zeros for Morrison, Kozlov, and Kobasu in 17 games combined there. Although they are putting some shots on net. Kozlov, -3. Yeah, Morrison has the potential, should probably be the guy in there. But Kozlov has a lot more experience and more of a pedigree in the NHL. So it'll be difficult to put Morrison over Kozlov. Wilm did great, 2-0-1, 943 save percentage, fantastic in the 3 games that he appeared in. So hopefully he is ready for maybe the best season of his career. A lot of his seasons have been shortened due to injuries. Coming off his best season, where he finally got a nice, full, healthy 63 games. And good numbers to boot. The year before played 71, but more difficult numbers. This past year, 63 games, 8 shutouts, his best statistical season for a full season as a starter. His best season probably still as a rookie, but that was when he was splitting the crease, was it with Ben Bishop? All that to say, I think we'll keep the lineup as it was in our final preseason game, headed into the beginning of year number 9. We have a lot going for us this year. Our core is getting a little bit older. Yes, MacKinnon, Tarasenko. We have a big boy on the blue line in Bowen Byram here now. We've lost back-to-back years in the playoffs after winning 3 consecutive cups. We won 4 cups in 6 years. We're closing off the series. We want to finish strong, and it all starts here in year number 9 against the Columbus Blue Jackets at Nationwide Arena. Game 1 of 82 of 2029-30. The lineup's ready to go, and I hope you are too. First period, 1-0 Jackets as Janssen opens it up on Peyton Wilm. 1 goal and 13 shots. Second period now, 3-0 Kent Johnson and Dennis Malgin. 3-0 Blue Jackets. Shots only 24-23, but we got to get something on net here, boys. Let's go. Let's show up here in this first game. Let's come hot. We had a good warm-up in the preseason. We had a good end in, we went 4-0-3, winning 3 in a row. But we're getting shut out right now in Columbus. 37 shots, nothing coming. Who's in there? 3-0 the final. What? A 39 save shutout from Mackenzie Blackwood. Oh, man, that's a tough way to start the season. I don't know if I can blame us for that one. Mackenzie Blackwood was just on that shutdown mentality. As we'll go to Philadelphia and try to get it back at Wells Fargo Center. We're not going to go to the calendar simulation until we get a dub here. So here we go, looking for our first goal of the season. First period, no one gets it. We've been shut out for 4 periods now, 16 shots. Nothing. Second period, there it is, as Nathan MacKinnon breaks the deadlock with a power play goal, but then Heidel and Kyrou scoring for the Flyers. We're being outshot. We're outshooting them 27-23, but we're down 2-1 until Rickard Bergenheim ties it up for us, our third line center to start the season. 2-2 game. We're all tied up. 33-25 are the shots. About halfway through this period now in the city of brotherly love. 37-28. We can't break through Carter Hart more than that. Let's go, boys. The big dogs are hungry. I guess they got fed in the preseason. Come on. Overtime start the season. 38-30 are the shots are in our favor. 2-2 game headed into this extra 5 minutes now of 3-on-3 action. And Sean Couturier ends it. 3-2 the final. 3 stars in this one. All Philadelphia. Starting the season 0-1-1. That's for the first time in a long time. We usually win at least one of our first 2 games, but I guess it was meant to be at the Prudential Center against our old friends David Jiricek and Philip Gustafson in New Jersey. Bowen Byram going to be up against his old team, who never played a game for. They signed him, put him on the block, and dumped him. The disrespect Here we go. In New Jersey, first period, 3-0. We're on a mission tonight, boys. Eli Manning on the power play, and then Chychrun scores twice in 5 minutes. 3-0 Kraken as we beat Philip Gustafson 3 times in 20 minutes. Eli Manning, his first goal as a Kraken. Second period, now 6-0. Manning, his second of the night, first multi-goal game of his career probably. I don't know if he played on anywhere else before us. McKinnon and Moss with a couple on top. 31-17 the shots. 7-0 now is Vitaly Popov. There we go, boys. This is what we were waiting for. 5-on-3 power play. Keep them coming. Nathan McKinnon, 8. Tarasenko, 9. Let's go for double digits there. Oh, almost. Kluchek breaks the shutout. We have 9 on Gustafson and 36 shots? Our good old friend Philip Gustafson won way too much money. New Jersey gave it to him, and there it is. Number 10 now past Jake Ottinger, who's in there. Vladimir Tarasenko, his second of the night. Is that our first 10-goal game in Kraken history? At least in the slow sim, I think it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we outshoot the Devils 44-28. We were just pent up with anger and rage and skill that just exploded on the ice. 10 goals on 44 shots. What a night. First star, Nathan McKinnon, 2 goals and an assist. Chychrun, 2 goals. Tarasenko, 2 goals and an assist from the captain. Did anybody not score a point tonight? Let's see this. No points from the fourth or some of the third even. Tikhonov, Lume, Bergenheim, Rolison. Even Isaiah Marco, no points with 10 goals. Oh, people who had him in their fantasy lineups are going to be furious. But 3-point nights from McKinnon, Tuck, Maloney, Beniers, and Tarasenko. 2-point nights from Chychrun, Moss, Byram, Manning, and Popov. Wow, oh wow, 10-1 Kraken. What a night. We're ready to get into some calendar simulation. That now with the morale being a little higher than it was. Huge victory, and let's start simulating. I actually totally forgot to show you the special teams as well. Like I realized when Eli Manning was scoring on the power play, I said, how come he's there? I totally forgot to fix those up. So here we go. We're going to go +5, +3 on the units looking like this, trying to give some ice time to guys like Kobasu here on that first unit with the X Factors helps out a lot. So this power play should be amazing. The +5, +3 on both units. I'm hoping and expecting for a lot. Penalty kill will be +2, +2 with the units looking like this. All the other stuff, not really of too much importance. Down in the AHL, the lines are looking like this, but I don't want to show them just yet because I'm waiting to sign one more player. In free agency, some low elite centerman there for the 4th line, so I'll get on that in just a moment once he signs on. And there he is, Jaden Barch, welcome to the team. I'll slot him into the lineup and show you how it looks. And here it is. So nothing too crazy this year. A lot of guys, more of a potential year than a championship year in the AHL, but that's how it'll be. Hopefully get some growth from guys like Burrows, Piper, Russell. On defense, Lundberg and Suglebov, top pair with some of other defensive prospects. Goaltending, it's Cole Kelly and Isaac, is it Ian Malhi? 2 medium elite goalie prospects who are both 21, 76 and 75 overall respectively. Hilpert will actually just be our 3rd full-time goalie in the AHL. In the NHL. He'll just be a healthy scratch full-time as opposed to taking up playing time from our elite prospect since he's medium starter at the age of 22. So there are the NHL and AHL lines. Special teams in the AHL, I don't care too much about that. I let the best lines do most of the work there. All that being said, let's get back to calendar simulation. So let's go a couple of weeks and get a rematch against the Edmonton Oilers. We shut out the Canucks 4-0. Very, very nice. 2-game winning streak. Nice to see that. Montreal Canadiens, we're back at home, 4-0 win. So at home, we have back-to-back 4-0 victories. 5-4 shootout win against the Minnesota Wild, looking good. We're 4-1-1 through 6 games. Against the Rangers, last game at home, 3-2 victories. That gives us a 5-game winning streak now. We're 5-1-1. Taking on the Oilers, who eliminated us in 7 games last year in round number 2 of the playoffs. They went on to lose to the Blues, who lost to the Lightning for the Stanley Cup, but we want our revenge, and we're on a 5-game winning streak. First period, 2-0 Edmonton. We're in Edmonton as well. Nurse and Coty scoring for Edmonton. Second period, 4-0. Of course, you go into the slow sim and everything falls apart. Malik in here. Krinkovich and Krebs. We're being outshot 19-16, and then the captain gets it started. Let's go. Linus Ullmark getting beaten. It doesn't take a ton of shots. Dry settle. That's over. Power play for us. 5-on-3. That's great. 5-on-4. All of it gets killed off. We're down by 4 with under 10 to go. Forget it. 5-1 loss. We outshoot them 33-26. Okay, that was very anticlimactic. As our 5-game winning streak gets snapped there by the Oilers with a 5-1 loss. But let's move into the month of November. And we'll want to go see a date against the Avalanche, perhaps? Ooh, they're 0-7-0. Let's go see the reigning Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. That's what we want to go see. That'll give us a good chunk of simulation until then. We'll get a better look of how players are doing, and then we can make any changes if they seem necessary. 4-2 win to get back on the horse after that 5-1 loss there against Buffalo now. 3-2 loss against the Coyotes, a 7-3 loss against the Golden Knights. Hopefully a couple of empty netters in there. The Ducks beat us 4-1. Now we're on a 3-game losing streak. That's... man. Where's the goal scoring? We scored 10 goals, and then when it comes to teams like Anaheim and Minnesota, we get outscored 8-2 over 2 games. Chicago, who are 8-6-0, we beat them 6-2. At least we showed up there. Avalanche are 2-9-1. They're going to beat us 8-7, right? Okay, 4-3 win against them. Thank you. And Isaiah Marco has a mild concussion, which is going to keep him out for a couple of weeks coming up to this game against the Washington Capitals. So that'll allow Matty Beniers to slot up in the lineup, and will look like this. And there we go. So Beniers, McKinnon, Tuck, Maloney, Popov, Moss, Lume, Bergenheim, Tarasenko, and JT Compher draws in on the 4th line. Won't be too long of an injury, thankfully, as we ended up beating the Capitals 5-2. Now we're taking on the Hurricanes at home and beat them 4-1. So after a 5-game winning streak that got snapped, we lost, we won, then went on a 4-game losing streak, 4-game winning streak, and now we're looking to make it 5 once more. Very streaky to begin the season. We're 10-6-1 in game number 18 against the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the team who did the three-peat against the team that had the back-to-back in the early 2020s. They've won 2 cups in their last 6 years. I think they won in 2023. So they won, 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2029. 4 cups in that from 2020 in 9 years, basically. So 2 of the best teams of the last decade taking on right here. All that to say, it's a juggernaut matchup. First period goes 2-1 for Seattle. Nathan McKinnon opens up the scoring on the power play. Josh Norris ties it back up, but then with 1 second left, the captain puts us back up headed into the second period. Shots 13-7 for the Lightning. Second period point scores early, and the period ends 4-3 in our favor as Kaliev puts the Lightning up 3-2, but then Lume ties it up, and once again, late in the period, the captain puts us ahead. 2 goals from Tarasenko. Shots 23-18 for the Lightning, and we're up by 1 headed into this third and final period. A potential someday in the future Stanley Cup final. That would be a really good series. All of our cups have come against the Leafs and the Hurricanes. Chernak ties it up at 4, but then Nathan McKinnon puts us right back ahead a minute later. 5-4 Kraken with 5 minutes left. Shots are very even. 2 offensive teams with good defense as well. 9 goals scored in this one, and Nathan McKinnon's will be the game winner. Shots end 32-31 Tampa, with that 1 extra goal from McKinnon proves to be the winner. 2 goals and an assist. First star honors for the captain. 2 goals for McKinnon, and hey, a 3-assist night from Rickard Bergenheim. Love to see that. And that will be 5 wins in a row for the second time this season. We have 11 wins on the year, and Byram MCL sprained out till March. Oh, the highs and lows. Isn't life just so beautiful? Oh, man. We have 11 wins. 10 of them have come on 5-game winning streaks. Oh, yeah, Bowen Byram out. What did he do so far this year? Byram. And well, come on, let me see it. Come on, franchise overview is so broken. Just I want to see what Byram did. Okay, we'll look after it. First, I got to replace him in the lineup. So, hey, Tiny Morrison, you're a big boy now. Hope you've been having your vitamins. You're slotting into that lineup. Playing on the second pair. Kozlov knows how to play second pair. He's done it before. So Kozlov, Bear, our new second pair of the future now. And Rolison, Morrison, going to be the third pair. We'll change up the special teams, fix things up, and cross our fingers. Okay, change the menu screens now. So, and Byram, 11 assists in 18 games. Oh, what? That is brutal. That is brutal. We're missing him for 4 months. And he was a huge part of the offense. Oh, man. So Kozlov's going to be getting a lot more ice time now as he's slotting up there, plus playing a lot of special teams time. Rolston and Morrison have a -3. That's fantastic. Penalty kill goes from a +3 to a +5, I think, with Kozlov coming in for Byram. So there's, I guess, a little bit of a silver lining. 280s are not ideal for the pair. I'd prefer to play them with somebody else. Like I could go Bear or Chikrin it would change up a little. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna check the penalty kill percentage, and then after like 10 games, we'll see if it dips a little bit. But Kozlov's gonna get a lot of ice time. Tiny Morrison, maybe this is a blessing for him. But Bowen Byram out is a huge blow, and now's as good a time as any to check out how the standings are looking, all the point totals and everything. So we're second in the division right now, as the Kings are 1 point above. Just to make note here, power play at 28.9, penalty kill at 85.1. So we'll see how that looks later on. Vladimir Tarasenko leading the team in scoring with 18 points. Yes, that's point per game. 18 points in 18 games with 13 goals. What in the world? Vladimir Tarasenko turning back the clock. What a season he's been having. McKinnon 17 and 18, Beniers 16, Moss 15, Tuck and Popov both with 14. Beautiful. Marco 12, Chikrin 11, Byram rest in peace 11, Maloney 10 and 18, Bear 7. That's very good actually for him. Bergenheim 7, Manning 6, Lume, Tikhonov, Kobasu, a couple of assists for the offensive defensemen. Comfer 1 assist in 2 games, Kozlov 1 assist in 18 games. Ah, boy. And Peyton Wilm, how's he been? 11, 4, and 1, 2 shutouts, 907 save percentage, 2.58 goals against. Malik has not been very good. He has to wake up, or else I'm looking for a new backup goalie. But there's a small sample size at the moment. Let's keep on simulating. We're getting closer to the halfway point. That'll be where we stop this episode. But for the moment, we can continue on the calendar. Marco should be back in a couple of days, actually, so I won't sim too far ahead because he should be back any moment. That'll be very helpful offensively. Give us a little bit of a morale boost as well. Florida Panthers, we beat them 4-2. Very, very nice. Now a 6-game winning streak for us. Buffalo Sabres are 14, 6, and 1. In Buffalo, we lose 4-1 to snap our streak. Marco back in the lineup, change things up. All right, Marco is back in. We can keep on simulating now. 4-2 win against the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. Edmonton Oilers at home. We lose 4-3 against them. We're 13, 8, and 1. We're going to go up to the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, get a little Stanley Cup rematch. 2 of our 3 cups beating them out. 9-6 loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know what's happening out here. These crazy score lines. Then a 7-1 win against Winnipeg. That's what I'm talking about in these crazy score lines. Columbus Blue Jackets at home. We shut them out 4-0. We got back-to-backs here. A little California road trip going south. San Jose, we beat them 5-2. And Anaheim, who are 14, 12, and 4. We dropped that one in the shootout 3-2. Another back-to-back here, this time at home. Edmonton Oilers, we beat them 6-2. And now we're 17, 9, and 2, taking on the 24, 6, and 0 Toronto Maple Leafs. Not an easy matchup, to say the least. But we've beaten them before. They're number 1 in their division, probably in their conference. We know how to beat them. Let's do it. First period, 2-0 Leafs. Love it. Pesce and Nylander. Second period, 3-0 Rasmus Sandin. Great. No goals on 28 shots. We're getting smacked left and right. Extended power play. That's what we want to give them. That's it. Nice extended power play. Get shut out. No problem. Halfway through the third. 32 shots in 50 minutes. No goals. No problem. No problem. I guess we don't want to fight for a championship this year. That's okay. I guess we don't want to fight. 2 minutes left, final minute, and a 3-0 shutout. Shots end tied at 35, but it is Melnyk, probably a 67 overall low starter goaltender, who gets the shutout. And let's see what we got. He is... exactly. Oh, don't tell me he's low starter. He's medium fringe starter. This guy's a 67 overall with a 922 save percentage and 2.22 goals against average? 16-2-0. You're kidding me, EA. Please. What? Undrafted Robinson Melnyk. And their 2 goalies are both 67 overalls. What? Who's on this team? Their team is getting stripped away because of their contracts, I suppose. This guy Canzanello on their second line. Their defense is decent. But 267 overalls. I threw a number out and I just knew it. I just knew EA. I knew it. Medium fringe, 67 overall goalie. Gets a shutout. That's it. No problem. Me, an 88 overall goalie. Junk. Yeah, that's it. Nothing new. Nothing new. What a sick joke. What a really sick joke. Just keep the simulation going. Just keep it going. Let's just get out of this year. Let's just get out of 2029. Let's go to 2030, new decade. Keep the L's coming. 5-2 loss, no problem. We welcome them. We welcome the losses. 6-2 win in Calgary. Who has passion? 5-4 overtime loss. Does anyone here have passion? Philadelphia at home, lose 5-2. And we beat Calgary again, thankfully, twice in 1 week or in 7 days. 6-4 win, 2-0 shutout of the Canucks. Thank you. That's win number 20. It's tight in the Pacific. The Kings and the Oilers both above us right now. New York Islanders on New Year's Day. It's the Winter Classic, 15-17-1. We're in New York. We're on Long Island. Let's do it. We're 20-12-3. We got to win this one. First period, 1-1. Tuck shorthanded. Yamamoto on the power play. All about those special teams. Lucas Dostal in there. If you know, you know. Second period, 5-1. Yes, let's go. Moss, Marco, Lume, McKinnon. Where have the goals been? Have you not been hungry? Do you have no appetite? 5-1 Kraken. Dinner's ready, boys. Let's go. Soup's on. Power play. 5-1. Power play doesn't come to anything. Final 10 minutes here. Up by 4. Can we risk pressing X? I will, and we win it. 5-1 the final. Shots end 36-26. Nothing came in that third period, but that's all right. Goal and 2 assists from McKinnon. Goal and assist from Tuck. And 25 saves and some life from Nick Malik, who wants to stay in the NHL. He'd better keep it up if he wants this backup position. Nice victory here on New Year's Day 2030. Let's keep on simulating a little bit closer to that halfway point of the season. I'm going to send out the scouts on the 6th, update the scouting reports. Then we'll see the last game, look at all the numbers, and wrap it up. 4-3 overtime loss against the Senators, and Freddie Anderson is on waivers. New backup goalie? Oh, 76 overall. Hold on, are those NHL or AHL numbers? What? The man is 9-3-0 with 2 shutouts, 938 save percentage, 1.85 goals against average, 40 years of age, 1 more years at 1.6 million. Freddie Anderson, welcome to the team, buddy. Welcome to the team. That's going to be one of our questions for next episode. Is he our backup? Overtime loss, shootout loss. We're 21-12-5 after 38 games, so we have 3 more to go. I'm going to update the scouting, and then we'll close it out. Okay, the scouts have been sent out. 38, 39, 40, and game 41 will be against the LA Kings. That'll be the official halfway point of the regular season, so we'll go up to there and then wrap this baby up. In Colorado, they're 7-29-1. We barely beat them 3-2, thank goodness. Dallas Stars. In Dallas, we beat them 4-3, then a 3-2 victory. The Colorado Avalanche fire their head coach as well a couple games after that. So now on a 3-game winning streak, winning each of those games by 1 goal. We're 24-12-5, taking on the 21-13-5 LA Kings, who are 6 points behind us there, as we are atop the Pacific Division at the moment. Oh wait, that was game 41. Hey, perfect. So we don't even need to play this one. We'll pick up next episode from here. So at the halfway point through 41 games, we are 1 point above the Edmonton Oilers for the lead of the Pacific Division. Nathan McKinnon leading the team in points. We'll get back there in a moment. Miscounted those games on the calendar there, excuse me. In the entire NHL, we are currently 5th in the league. The Maple Leafs are on top, 31-8-2 is their record. It's tight in the East. The 7th place Lightning are a wild card team right now. We score 3.66 per game, one of the best in the NHL, second best in the league, but allowing 2.9 per game. It's a bit high compared to some of the other teams that are around there, and some of the higher scoring teams. Power play of 28.3% has stayed high and is the highest in the NHL. Penalty kill has dropped slightly by 0.5%, I believe. 84.6 doesn't have us at the top, but we're in the conversation for those top 10 teams. I'm holding the left stick down at full speed. It's going so slow, but we're in the top half or so at 84.6%. Bowen Byron being out likely hurts that just a little bit. But Nathan McKinnon, as per usual, leading the team in points, 54-41. Matty Beniers is point per game right now. This is possibly on pace for the best season of his career. Not quite. He's on pace for 82 points. His best is 89. 89, 87, 83, starts to go down from there, 78, 65, 72. So hopefully this season he gets back into the 80s, as it's been a little while. He's on pace for 26 goals and 82 points. That would be very nice. He's 27 years of age now. Is he on the... Yeah, he has 3 more years after this one, so nothing to worry about there. Isaiah Marco, 39 points in 37 games, over a point per game. Alex Tuck, back to fine form here, 39 points, on pace for 78 after scoring 54 last season, so very nice to see him back. Chris Moss, 19 goals and 35 points. He is on pace for a 70-point season. That'll be very nice to see if he can maintain that. 19 goals. He is one of the top scorers on the team. Vitaly Popov, the playmaker, on pace for 66 points, which would be a career high by far. His previous high is 52, so we'll see what he can do there. Jake Chikrin, 28 points and a plus 13. Vladimir Tarasenko, yes, he's slowed down, but still 18 goals and 27 points, on pace for a 54-point year. Love me some Vladimir Tarasenko, now 38 years of age. Maloney, 20 and 41. Bergenheim, 19. Bear, 17 and a plus 16. Lume, 14 points. Manning, 13 points and a plus in 41 games, even plus minus. Byram still hurts to see. Tikhonov, 7 points and a plus 3. Kobasu, 6 points and a plus 6. Very odd with all that. He's playing 23 minutes a night. He's an offensive defenseman. He has the offensive X factors. Nothing coming for the offense. I don't know what to say. Comfort was good in the 4 games he played. 3 points. Kozlov, 3 points and a plus 4. Rolson, 3 points and a plus 11. Morrison, 2 points and a plus 2 in 23 games. Still a 79. Goaltending, Peyton Hollywood Wilm, 29 and 4 with 4 shutouts. Numbers aren't super impressive at a 903 save percentage, 2.84 goals against average. Malik is 5-3 and 1, sub 900 save percentage, 2.9 goals against average. So I don't know. There are some improvements possibly that we could think about making. In the entire NHL, where does McKinnon rank? He's up there, but Svitov and Marner with 59 points, leading the NHL right now. Kernkovich with 53. Somehow he keeps staying up here. The Oilers, I guess that makes sense. 87 overall, playing first line. Yeah. Makes sense with McDavid and Draisaitl. So more to think about heading into next episode. The forwards, the defense, the goaltending, the injuries, always things that are ruminating in our heads. Quickly, as always, we'll do our due diligence and check out the trade blocks around the NHL. Sorting by overall, looking at contract status, prospects on the Ducks, Coyotes, prospects pretty much, Bruins, prospects, Buffalo, prospects, lots of teams with prospects as always. Calgary, Dubé, 1 year left on his deal, is an 85 overall, low trade value, 10 assists in 38 games. He's a two-way forward, playing third line, would fit our power play, making a lot of money, but on 1 year, salary retained, maybe, Dylan Dubé, maybe. Fagemo, Jameson Reese, multi-year deals there. Carolina, Nick Merkley. No one on Chicago. Colorado, I'm surprised they're not selling more than that. Columbus, Crombeen, an RFA. Dallas, they have Hayek 3 years left. Evan Bouchard with 6 years left, but 1 year left on Klingberg, Tavares, Hanola, Stevenson. John Klingberg, 1 year, he has 32 points in 39 games. Excuse me, 22 points in 39 games, plus 13. Playing a lot of ice time, would fit deep pairing 2, they say. John Tavares, a lot of trade value. He has 25 points in 36 games. And Dallas, what kind of team are they? They're a good team, so yeah, it wouldn't make sense for those trades to happen. Going to Detroit, Adam Ernie and Andrew Peak. Edmonton, nobody. Florida prospects. LA Kings, Matthew Robertson, Minnesota Wild prospects. Canadians, that RFA and other prospects. Nashville, no one really. New Jersey, Zaka and Rathbone. Zaka, expiring deal, 84 overall, power forward, yes. Would fit all forward lines and power play lines, 3 bars out of 4. He's being buried on the 4th line in New Jersey. Has 8 points in 41 games. Maybe Pavel Zacha could be someone that we think about at the deadline. Okay. Islanders, no one really. Rangers, Dahlin with 5 years left on his deal. Vitaly Kravtsov, 1 year left on his deal. He has 17 points in 40 games, -3. Playing on the 4th line. Would fit our 4th line, maybe, according to the scouts. Ansel Elgort looking good. The Fault in Our Stars gets me every time. Josh Anderson, 1 year left on his deal. He has 1 assist in 6 games. So he's getting buried as well. So a couple options on the Rangers, which would be of interest. Hampus Lindholm, 1 year left on his deal. Zibanejad, 1 year left on his deal. A lot can be changing in New York next season. So, okay, some interesting names on the Rangers. No one there on the Senators. Jaden Schwartz, 80 overall, but a ton of trade value. Playing in the AHL. Come on, does that make sense? Does that make sense? 44 points in 39 games for Jaden Schwartz, 37, 80 overall. And you're going to tell me he has more trade value than these other guys who are in the NHL right now? He has more trade value than Sean Couturier, who's playing in the NHL. Come on. What a joke for trade value. But let's just say, Sean Couturier on the block. There's an interesting name. Just by the way. Fits our second line. He's a great centerman, would help us defensively a lot. Pittsburgh Penguins, Brendan Carlo, a lot of years left. Niku, Coughlin, Kerfoot. San Jose Sharks, Elias Anderson, Logan Stanley. St. Louis Blues prospects, Tampa Bay Lightning prospects, Maple Leafs, Greenway, Sandin, Eriksson Ek, Frost, and Riley, all with 3-year contracts. Yeah, that's why they have 67 overall goaltenders. Just curious, of course, how's it going over there for Melnick? Good old Robinson Melnick. Yeah, still just killing it. .915 save percentage and 2.46 goals against average for the unsigned goaltender who last year played in the OHL. Better numbers in the NHL than the OHL. Just give me a break. No one really there for Vancouver. Vegas, Josh Morrissey, 2 years left on his deal. Capitals, Rasmus Anderson, 4 years at 7.1 as an 86 overall. 3 points in 40 games. Okay. Rasmus Ristolainen as an 83 overall, 9 points, -12. Fits deep pairing 2. He's not too bad in EA land. So that's interesting, but there's better options, but he's interesting. Brennan Saad, 1.7 for 1 more year as an 80 overall, 7 goals, 8 assists, playing 4th line. Okay, Winnipeg, nobody. So there are the trade blocks. If you have any thoughts headed into the deadline in the second half of this 2029-30 season. Also, now that we're past January 1st, we can think about contract extensions for people who couldn't be extended before, like Bowen Byram, looking at all expiring. Byram, what kind of contract would he be looking at? Okay, that's reasonable. I could do 3 or 4 years on Byram and get him closer to $7 million as opposed to the 7.9 that he's making now. That's not a bad deal at all. So I like that. So extending Bowen Byram would be a good idea for next episode. Same for Asher Maloney, but he's asking a bit much. I might want to just qualify him now since he's still an RFA. Same for Pasi Lume. Yeah, I wouldn't mind qualifying those guys and seeing what we can do with them. Tarasenko, we'll wait to see. His demand will come down as he continues to age and his overall potential goes down, so we'll really wait on him. Rickard Bergenheim, also an RFA we could extend and we could qualify and wait on. But just to say, those are the names. Any goaltenders? Hilpert would be expiring. Freddie Anderson. Yeah, there's the other thing we have to think about at the end of this episode. Does Freddie Anderson become our backup? Such good numbers in the NHL. We claim him off waivers. Thank you very much. How do we use him? Does he go into the 3rd goaltending spot? Does he become the backup? Do we trade Hilpert? Do we trade Malik? Those are some ideas for us heading into next episode. The coaching staff, I'm curious, is the morale okay? 72. Okay, they're getting happier. This guy wasn't that happy. Now he's neutral. Coaching staff's looking okay. All right. So that just about wraps things up for this one. At the halfway point of year number 9 here in Seattle, we are atop the Pacific Division. We've been a pretty streaky team, but we're on a good streak. Nathan McKinnon is carrying us, and we're looking to finish off this season strong. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy it. What did you think about the Byram trade and everything else done in this episode? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now would be a great time to do so as we're getting closer to the end of this series and starting our next NHL 22 franchise mode. We have our NHL 07 Dynasty mode, FIFA 22 Career mode, and lots of other breakdowns and analysis videos around the NHL playoffs and things like that going on in the real world. So it's a great team, it's a great community, and it would just be that much sweeter with you being a part of it. So please do consider doing that. Leave any and all of your thoughts about this episode and heading into next episode down here in the YouTube comments. You are getting paid the big bucks as an assistant general manager, so I'm looking forward to reading those, or you can do so over in the Discord server. The link for that is always in the description. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope you're enjoying some lovely weather wherever you are, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you again in the next one.